In the annals of crime, there exist numerous intriguing stories that capture public imagination, tales of cunning, audacity, and sometimes pure luck. These stories, usually the preserve of thriller novels and Hollywood scripts, are the daring escapades of criminals who've managed to escape from what was considered inescapable, the confines of maximum security prisons. Through sheer will, ingenious ideas, and an uncanny ability to exploit the smallest loophole in the security system, these criminals etched their names in history. Here we delve into the captivating narratives of 10 such individuals. The first among these notable escape artists is a man known more for his chameleonic identity theft than his prison escapes, Frank Abagnale. Number 1. Frank Abagnale, Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale's life reads like a blockbuster movie script, so much so that it was indeed turned into one. The 2002 film Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio portraying Abagnale. From his late teens until his early 20s, Abagnale famously impersonated various professionals, including an airline pilot, a physician, and an attorney, all while smoothly forging checks worth millions of dollars. His life of deception and fraud landed him in prison multiple times, but it was his escape from a detention facility in Atlanta, Georgia, in 1971 that solidified his place in the pantheon of ingenious jailbreakers. Arrested in the U.S., Abagnale exploited a bureaucratic confusion to his advantage. His ruse involved convincing the guards that he was an undercover prison inspector rather than an inmate. Abagnale set the groundwork for this escape by procuring business cards with the emblem of the Bureau of Prisons. He made the guards believe that he was a prison inspector pretending to be an inmate to assess the facility from within. The guards were informed that a fellow inspector would confirm his cover story. That inspector was a friend of Abagnale, posing as an FBI agent. Having persuaded the guards of his fictitious identity, Abagnale managed to enjoy several privileges, including unsupervised meetups with his fellow inspector. During one such meeting, Abagnale informed the guards that he needed to meet his contact outside the prison to discuss confidential matters. Incredibly, the guards agreed, and Abagnale simply walked out of the prison, meeting no resistance. In the following weeks, Abagnale avoided recapture by adopting several aliases, ultimately fleeing to Washington, D.C., where he continued his fraudulent practices. It would be another year before he was finally captured and genuinely imprisoned. His audacious and clever escape is not only a testament to his charisma and cunning, but also a compelling insight into the significant gaps that existed in prison systems during his time. Number 2. John Dillinger, Jailbreak Through a Wooden Gun. John Dillinger, the notorious bank robber of the Great Depression era, was a man known for his audacious heists and thrilling escapes. His criminal exploits were so headline-grabbing that he was once dubbed Public Enemy Number 1 by the FBI. Dillinger's most notable escape, though, was not just about outfoxing the law enforcement or finding a secret tunnel. It was about a simple piece of carved wood. Dillinger's breakout from the escape-proof Crown Point jail in Indiana in 1934 is nothing short of legendary. Arrested on charges of murder and several bank robberies, Dillinger was held in a new jail that was heralded as a model of security. But Dillinger, with his brazen audacity, made a mockery of this proclamation. The story goes that Dillinger, using just a razor and a piece of wood, reportedly a washboard or a shelf, crafted a fake gun. He blackened this wooden replica with shoe polish, making it appear real enough to fool the guards. With his gun, Dillinger masterfully bluffed his way past multiple prison guards, commandeered the sheriff's brand-new V8 Ford, and fled across the state line into Illinois. This daring breakout was a significant embarrassment for the law enforcement agencies and catapulted Dillinger to a kind of criminal stardom. Newspapers across the country splashed his escape story on their front pages, describing the audacious breakout in great detail. The public was both shocked and intrigued at the same time. A mere piece of wood had shattered the myth of maximum security. Following his escape, Dillinger continued his spree of bank robberies, leading the authorities on a wild chase across several states. His flamboyant style and seemingly invincible aura made him a sort of folk hero among certain sections of society, who viewed his exploits as defiance against the system during the hard times of the Great Depression. It was only in July 1934, months after his audacious Crown Point jail escape, that Dillinger met his end outside Chicago's Biograph Theater, gunned down by federal agents. Dillinger's jailbreak serves as a testament to his audacious spirit and cunning, demonstrating how even the most secure systems could be beaten with creativity, audacity, and in Dillinger's case, a simple piece of carved wood. His story remains one of the most fascinating chapters in America's criminal history, offering a riveting narrative of daring, audacity, and a touch of the theatrical. Number 3. Richard Lee McNair, Escape via Mail. Richard Lee McNair was not your typical criminal. A serial escaper, he was known for his high-profile jailbreaks, each one more audacious than the last. It was his third escape, however, from a federal prison in Pollock, Louisiana in 2006 that truly set him apart. It was an escape plan that was as outlandish as it was brilliant. McNair escaped by mail. McNair was serving 2 life sentences for murder and burglary at the United States Penitentiary in Pollock. As part of his work detail, McNair had access to a factory within the prison where old, damaged mailbags were repaired. It was here that McNair came up with his extraordinary escape plan. Over time, he constructed a special pod, essentially a hollow space within a pile of mailbags. McNair's pod was meticulously crafted to be sturdy and breathable and large enough to hide a person. On the day of the escape, McNair concealed himself in this pod. The unsuspecting staff then forklifted the pile of mailbags with McNair hidden inside to a nearby warehouse outside the prison walls. Once he was outside, McNair cut his way out of the pod, slipped past the security unnoticed, and simply walked away to freedom. His audacious escape was not discovered until an hour later, by which time McNair had a considerable head start. After escaping, McNair dyed his hair and went on the run, managing to evade capture for over a year. He was finally apprehended in New Brunswick, Canada, in October 2007, putting an end to his life on the lam. His escapades gained him significant notoriety and attention from the media, with many intrigued by the audacity and inventiveness of his escape plan. It was a scenario that one would expect to find in a Hollywood movie, not in real-life criminal chronicles. McNair's story is a fascinating study of cunning and resourcefulness. His bold escape plan and successful evasion of law enforcement for over a year demonstrate the lengths to which some criminals will go to attain their freedom. The audacity and daring of his escape plan, as well as his ability to remain on the run for a considerable period, firmly position McNair's name in the annals of notorious prison escapees. This real-life tale of audacious escapology shows us that sometimes reality can indeed surpass the wildest of fiction. Number 4. El Chapo, From Shower to Freedom. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the infamous drug lord of the Sinaloa cartel, made international headlines not just for his brutal reign over one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations, but also for his daring prison escapes. Of his 2 jailbreaks, the second, from the Altiplano maximum security prison in Mexico in 2015, was a testament to his reach and influence, even from behind bars. Guzman was being held in the Altiplano prison after being captured in 2014, ending his 13 years on the run from a previous prison escape. Despite the stringent security measures, El Chapo managed to make a stunning escape that seemed straight out of a Hollywood thriller. The audacious escape involved a mile-long tunnel, dug meticulously from a house outside the prison to the shower area of Guzman's cell. The tunnel, an engineering marvel in itself, was equipped with ventilation, lighting, and even a modified motorcycle on rails that was likely used to haul out the dirt and potentially transport Guzman himself. On July 11, 2015, Guzman stepped into his cell's shower, bent down behind the partially obstructed view of the security camera, and disappeared. When guards later entered his cell, all they found was a gaping hole in the shower floor, leading down into the well-lit, professionally dug tunnel. This breakout, which seemingly occurred under the noses of prison officials, led to a massive manhunt, with the Mexican authorities left red-faced. It was a glaring display of the corruption and inefficiency that plagued the country's prison system and further boosted Guzman's near-mythical status among his followers. El Chapo was on the run for nearly 6 months before he was captured in a military raid in January 2016. His escape, however, had already solidified his reputation as a modern-day Houdini. The audacity of the plan, its meticulous execution, and the sheer audacity of his escape continued to intrigue and confound people worldwide. Guzman's story, while underlining the enormous reach of the drug trade and corruption within the prison system, also presents a narrative of astonishing audacity and resourcefulness. It serves as a stark reminder that in the world of organized crime, power and influence can transcend the ostensibly impregnable walls of a maximum security prison. Number 5. Jack Shepard, a master of escapes. In the annals of infamous jailbreakers, one name that stands out is Jack Shepard, a petty thief turned master escaper from 18th century England. Unlike other criminals of his time, Shepard was not known for his crimes, which were relatively minor, but for his unbelievable knack for slipping out of supposedly secure prisons. Shepard was a young Londoner who found himself on the wrong side of the law multiple times. His first stint in prison came in 1724, and over the course of that year, Shepard escaped not once, not twice, but an astounding 4 times from various prisons, each escape more daring than the last. His first escape from St. Giles's roundhouse was relatively simple. Left unattended, Shepard removed a bar from the window and simply climbed out. However, his subsequent escapes grew increasingly audacious. At one point, he broke out of the infamous Newgate prison by picking a padlock, climbing up a chimney, and crossing rooftops before descending to freedom. The escape that truly cemented Shepard's reputation was his final breakout from Newgate prison in November 1724. He was heavily manacled and kept in a secure cell known as the Castle, awaiting execution. Undeterred, Shepard used a small nail to pick his locks, scaled a 22-foot-high wall, and navigated his way over 6 more rooftops, before finally lowering himself to the ground using a blanket rope. Shepard's repeated escapes turned him into a folk hero. His daring jailbreaks were celebrated in popular culture, and he became something of a celebrity. His feats were the talk of London, and were even turned into plays and recounted in popular songs. Unfortunately for Shepard, his fame was short-lived. A few weeks after his last escape, he was recaptured and swiftly executed at Tyburn, London's primary site for public hangings. Despite his demise, Shepard's legacy lived on, immortalized in literature and later inspiring the character of Mac the Knife in Bertolt Brecht's The Threepenny Opera. In many ways, Shepard was more an escape artist than a criminal. His audacious escapes were not so much acts of defiance as they were demonstrations of ingenuity and daring. His escapades captivated the public and remain to this day a fascinating footnote in the history of prison breaks. Shepard's story is a testament to human tenacity and resourcefulness, proving that sometimes reality can be stranger and indeed more exciting than fiction. Number 6. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, the Alcatraz escape. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, once considered America's most secure prison, was a fortress-like structure on an island in San Francisco Bay. Its isolated location and rigorous security measures were thought to make escapes impossible. However, in June 1962, inmates Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, shattered this illusion in one of the most daring and infamous prison escapes in history. Morris, a man with a superior IQ, was the mastermind behind the escape, and the Anglin brothers, experienced bank robbers, were his willing accomplices. The audacious plan involved a meticulous strategy, patience, and makeshift tools. Over many months, the trio widened the ventilation duct openings at the back of their cells, using crude implements fashioned from spoons and discarded saw blades. The cover-up was also ingeniously executed, with false walls made from cardboard and paint to hide their work during the day. Once they had tunneled through the walls, they found themselves in an unguarded utility corridor. From there, they climbed a ventilation shaft to the roof. The final phase of the escape was no less daring. They had constructed life vests and a makeshift inflatable raft from over 50 stolen raincoats. On the night of June 11, 1962, the trio put their plan into action. They crawled through the tunnels, climbed the shaft, slid down a kitchen vent pipe, and crossed the prison yard to the shore. There, they inflated their raft with an accordion-like musical instrument known as a concertina. After they launched their raft, they were never seen again. The following day, the guards discovered the escape, but by then, The men had a considerable head start. The FBI launched an extensive manhunt, but it yielded no concrete results. The escapees had left behind dummy heads in their cells, made from a mixture of soap, toilet paper, and real hair, which had fooled the night guards. The daring escape was immortalized in the 1979 film Escape from Alcatraz, starring Clint Eastwood as Frank Morris. Despite numerous theories and alleged sightings over the years, the fate of the escapees remains a mystery. The official report suggests they drowned in the cold, treacherous waters of the bay, but there is no definitive proof. The Alcatraz escape remains one of the most audacious and ingenious prison breaks ever executed, underscoring human resourcefulness under extreme circumstances. It's a story that continues to captivate, embodying the indomitable spirit of freedom and the lengths to which people will go to achieve it. Number 7. Pascal Paella Sky High Escapes. When it comes to audacious prison escapes, French criminal Pascal Paella certainly takes things to a different level, quite literally. Known for his involvement in armed robbery and murder, Paella has also earned notoriety for his remarkable escape method of choice, a helicopter. Paella's first sky-high escape occurred in 2001 from the Louines prison in southern France. After serving only 3 years of a 30-year sentence for a murder committed during a failed security van robbery, Paella fled the prison grounds in dramatic fashion. He had accomplices swoop in on a stolen helicopter, land in the prison yard, pick him up and fly off, leaving prison guards dumbfounded. Incredibly, Paella repeated this audacious feat in 2003, but this time as the orchestrator rather than the escapee. In an act of loyalty, or perhaps shared audacity, Paella arranged a helicopter escape for his friends left behind at the Louines prison, showing a continued defiance for the French justice system. But Paella wasn't done. In 2007, while serving time in the Grasse prison in southeast France, he made his second personal jailbreak via helicopter. Again, accomplices hijacked a helicopter, flew it to the prison, and extracted Paella. This escape was so brazen and audacious that it left the nation in shock and the authorities in utter embarrassment. Each escape led to a massive manhunt. After his 2007 escape, Paella managed to evade capture for several months before he was finally apprehended in Spain. His repeated successful escapes and the strikingly daring method employed brought him worldwide notoriety and sparked significant criticism of the French prison system. Paella's helicopter escapes demonstrate a level of audacity, planning, and resourcefulness that is almost unparalleled in the annals of prison escapes. Each breakout required not just a daring plan, but also a skillful execution, involving timing, technical knowledge, and a fair share of audacity. His repeated helicopter getaways sparked discussions around prison security, led to increased countermeasures in French prisons, and inspired stricter international laws around flying near detention facilities. Despite the serious nature of his crimes, there's no denying that Paella's extraordinary escapades have left an indelible mark on criminal history, demonstrating the incredible lengths to which some individuals will go to attain freedom. Number 8. Choi Gapbach Escape through a food slot. Prison escapes are often associated with elaborate plans, accomplices, and tools, but Choi Gapbach, a South Korean criminal, needed none of these. Instead, he relied on a skill he had honed over 2 decades: yoga. In a display of extraordinary flexibility and determination, Choi managed to escape from his detention cell in 2012 through a tiny food slot, a feat that has made him a unique figure in the history of prison breaks. Choi, a career criminal with 7 prior convictions, had been practicing yoga for 23 years before his escape. When he found himself in a police station holding cell in Daegu, South Korea, accused of robbery, he decided to put his skills to use. The small food slot at the bottom of the cell door through which meals were passed became his route to freedom. In the early hours of the morning, after asking for special ointment to soothe his dry skin, Choi began his escape. He applied the lotion to his upper body and began to squeeze himself through the slot, a narrow rectangle no larger than a medium-sized book. Despite the slot's incredibly small size, just 15 cm tall and 45 cm wide, Choi managed to wriggle his way out in just 34 seconds. By the time the officers noticed his absence, Choi was long gone. His incredible escape left the police both embarrassed and amazed. A national manhunt was launched, and Choi was recaptured 6 days later. After his recapture, the police requested a demonstration of his escape method under careful supervision to understand how he managed the feat. The escape was even recreated for South Korean TV, further propelling Choi to fame. Choi Gapbach's escape is unique in its simplicity and reliance on physical prowess. It serves as a stark reminder that escapes don't always require intricate plans, tunnels, or helicopters. Sometimes they require nothing more than exceptional physical ability, a touch of audacity, and the will to be free. His escape is a testament to the remarkable extents to which humans can push their bodies when motivated by the prospect of freedom. This real-life escape tale has all the elements of an incredible story: audacity, ingenuity, and an unexpected skill set, proving that truth can indeed be stranger than fiction. Number 9. Yoshi Shiratori, the man who defied shackles. Japan's history of prison escapes is marked by the incredible story of Yoshi Shiratori, a man who not only escaped multiple times but did so using methods as ingenious as they were daring. Between 1933 and 1947, Shiratori managed to escape from various Japanese prisons 4 times, earning him a legendary status in his home country and the nickname the Showa-era Escape King. Shiratori's first jailbreak occurred in 1936, when he managed to escape from Aomori prison using a wire to unlock his handcuffs. Despite this successful escape, he was soon recaptured and returned to prison. Undeterred, Shiratori made his second escape in 1942 from Akita prison. This time, he had devised a method to pick his handcuffs and the cell lock using a makeshift tool crafted from a piece of metal. Once again, his freedom was short-lived, as he was apprehended and imprisoned in Abagnale prison, known for its high security. However, Abagnale prison proved to be no match for Shiratori's determination and resourcefulness. In 1944, he made his most famous escape, which became a testament to his ingenuity. Knowing that rust could weaken his shackles, he used miso soup, a staple in Japanese cuisine, to corrode them. After months of applying the soup to his handcuffs, he was finally able to break free. Shiratori's fourth and final escape came in 1947 from Sapporo prison. He dug a tunnel out of his cell using a metal dish and a bowl. After his escape, he lived a quiet life under a false identity until his voluntary surrender to the police in 1948. Despite his numerous escapes and initial crimes, Shiratori became a sort of folk hero in Japan. His story was later adapted into movies and manga, immortalizing his image as a defiant and ingenious escape artist. Yoshi Shiratori's multiple escapes are a testament to his resourcefulness, tenacity, and determination. His inventive use of everyday items and his patience in executing his plans are the stuff of legend. More than just a tale of daring escapes, Shiratori's story is a fascinating exploration of human resilience, the indomitable will to be free, and the remarkable lengths to which individuals will go when driven by the instinct for freedom. Number 10. Alfred Wetzler The Auschwitz Escape. Amidst the darkest moments of humanity's history, certain narratives of bravery and indomitable spirit stand out. One such tale is that of Alfred Wetzler, a Slovakian Jew who managed to escape from the infamous Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. Wetzler's escape, carried out with fellow prisoner Rudolf Vrba, remains one of the most significant in history, contributing vital information about the Holocaust to the Allies. In April 1944, Wetzler and Vrba, knowing the deadly fate that awaited them and their fellow inmates, decided to escape. Their plan was as daring as it was dangerous, requiring careful planning and a considerable amount of luck. The two men hid in a woodpile that other inmates were using to build a bunker. They soaked their clothes in tobacco and petrol to keep the camp's guard dogs from picking up their scent. They remained hidden in their makeshift hideout for 3 days, waiting for the camp's search protocol to conclude. On the 4th night, they finally made their move, cutting the fence surrounding the camp and fleeing into the night. Carrying a report detailing the atrocities committed at Auschwitz, Wetzler and Vrba traveled approximately 85 miles over 7 days, evading German patrols and surviving on stolen food before finally reaching Slovakia. Upon their arrival, they presented their report to Jewish community leaders. The document, later known as the Vrba-Wetzler Report, provided a detailed account of the systematic extermination carried out at Auschwitz. It included maps, statistics, and descriptions of the camp's infrastructure, and became one of the most comprehensive eyewitness accounts of the Holocaust. The information in the report was disseminated among the Allies and played a crucial role in revealing the horrifying reality of the concentration camps. It fueled the international outcry against the Holocaust and pressured the Hungarian government to halt the deportation of Jews to Auschwitz. Alfred Wetzler's daring escape was much more than an act of personal survival. It was a heroic act that contributed significantly to exposing the heinous crimes committed during the Holocaust. Wetzler's story serves as a reminder of human resilience and the power of truth, even in the face of unimaginable horrors. It remains a testament to courage, the will to survive, and the determination to bear witness to injustice.